right, Harrington, you ready to start this podcast?
We've been recording for the last minute.
There you go. Well, then, they're already here with us. Welcome, everybody, to the Run Your Mouth podcast. It's a pleasure to have you here with us this evening. And Mr. Harrington, I appreciate you came back 2 nights in a row.
Yes, sir. Wouldn't miss it for the world.
That's the dedication to the cause. And you got anything to report in? Anything before we get cooking on the news here? Anything you want can people still buy your cum, or is that over? Was that just a holiday promotion?
No, it's not a holiday promotion, not a Black Friday sale. That is available for the first 40 people who want in. That is, I want to remind you, only the first 40 who sign up for my Patreon for the milkshake tier are going to be entitled to that perk.
There you go. Harrington's cum is still available. Excellent.
Hell yeah, dude. No, we were going to announce... did we announce that already?
Did you want to announce something? I don't want to keep you back from an announcement.
No, I mean, it was your idea to announce it on the show that I was going to be a homed person.
Oh, but we got into that.
We did.
The whole
Okay.
thing's... Listen, people, we try and bring you the best possible broadcast. And sometimes, in order to do that, we'll spread this out over the course of 2 weeks sometimes. We'll come in here and just record single segments, maybe 30-second chunks, 1-minute chunks, whatever it takes that we're full of energy. You come in here for 2-3 hours, you can't have energy like this. That's why we'll do it in little chunks over the course of days. We'll re-edit. Then we'll go back to the drawing board. We'll go, that doesn't fit there. That doesn't fit there, like a puzzle. We'll bring it back together. So that conversation will come later on. We're going to get... I mean, we already blew a good lead in for it. You know, it's not like it's going to come in some dramatic fashion. So just know at this moment that Harrington's no longer homeless, and that we'll have some funny commentary on it later.
All right. Well, I can always edit this out. What I will tell you...
No, that's going in as is. That's...
I'm not even a little bit ashamed that sometimes we need to take sandwich breaks, because that is very much in the theme of this show.
That's who we are.
Yeah. Well, the other thing I would say, you and I hung out last weekend while we weren't doing an episode. We did get together and we did broadcast on my Twitch stream, which, you can get the archives to on my Patreon. But we watched Ruiz versus Joshua 2. Had a lot of fun watching boxing with you, Robbie Bernstein.
That is a true fact, and I was very disappointed by Andy Ruiz's loss, because it's about time we finally get a fat icon. Someone out there who can represent the chubby slackers and show that we can be champions too. I'm telling you, I would take off my shirt more pridefully if you had more champions like Andy Ruiz Jr. out in the world.
I mean, I can't disagree with you there. I think, it's why we were all rooting for Mark Hunt and Roy Nelson to finally get that heavyweight title in the UFC. Like, Derek Lewis has kind of picked up that mantle now,
Nothing makes you feel better than when you're out and you watch some big, heavy, fat-titted guy knock another dude clean out, and you're like, yeah, you see, that's what a real man looks like. That's what a real man looks like when he takes his shirt off. Some big, heavy, fat-titted motherfucker.
Dude, Daniel Cormier is the great fat hope, honestly.
No, but he's like bottom heavy. He's like hippie. He's not tit heavy. I like to see a dude who's tit heavy. I want to see a guy who's kind of my body type, but just being 6'3" and manly as opposed to 5'6".
Hold on now, because he's all right. I'm gonna disprove you right here.
He's not tit meat. Well, okay, even that's not tit meat. He's bottom chunky. He's hippie. He's got tight pec muscles. He's got a big booty, and he's got a big hip thing.
Well, remind you that this is when he was still cutting a light heavyweight. If he was to recut that now after, fighting with Derek Lewis over that Popeye sponsorship, I think, he's a pretty big boy.
Did they fight for the Popeye sponsorship?
No, but when they did fight Derek Lewis
got Popeyes.
Yeah, and it was a big to-do because it's Louisiana chicken, and Daniel Cormier is the pride of Louisiana.
Oh, and it would have been funny if they actually had fought for that, if he put the sponsorship on the line.
I don't think Popeyes could afford Daniel Cormier.
They made a belt out of fried chicken.
No, dude, like the old days, like when they would give Mark Coleman like a giant trophy, instead it's a giant golden bucket of chicken. That'd be pretty badass.
Why, Mark Coleman was eating a lot of fried chicken?
No, I'm just saying, instead of like a gigantic trophy, like they used to do before they had the belt system, they would award like a giant trophy at the end, like a regular martial arts tournament. So I'm thinking bring that back, like Daniel LaRusso with the All Valley tournament, but it's a gilded bucket of fried chicken.
Yes, I like it. While we're on the topic of Andy Ruiz Jr., who lost, and then in just such great fashion, he goes, well, I partied too hard. What that is like the nature of a fat guy at its best, where it's like, what can I tell you? I didn't want to wake up. I didn't want to do the work. You guys paid me a lot of money, so I ate a lot and I partied. But, give me another chance. I'll put it together for the next one.
I mean,
God bless him. He made his money. He entertained us. I got excited to see him show up and fight, and he sold us. He pretended like he was training over the course of that, and what fat guy is fat guy. It's just sometimes you don't have real championship in your bones. You got the money, and you don't care enough to really go win.
So here's the thing about Andy Ruiz that I love. Like, his management team pulled off like it was the prestige level magic trick on us, right?
Oh yeah, because we had no idea.
Dude, the whole time...
They pretended he was losing weight.
Exactly, right? Like, all the reports coming out of his camp, all the leak reports, he's coming in 20 pounds lighter than he was for the Joshua fight. He's never been hungrier, right? You come to the weigh-ins, find out he's never been hungrier. It's 282. And they spun it like it was a giant misdirection because they wanted Joshua to get smaller. They knew Ruiz wasn't going to have a hard time handling Joshua's power punches when they were nearly even in weight. So the bigger Ruiz would knock him out in the first round. And I bought it hook, line, and sinker, dog.
Yeah. And here's the thing. He's now set for life, so I don't hate on him.
Here's my problem. He's not, though.
He made $40 million between the two fights.
Right. So he went out that first fight. I think it was only like $10 million. He probably got like another $5 million bonus. So $15 million for the first fight.
That's an absurd amount of money.
Guarantee he has not paid the taxes on that because he's bought 2 Maybachs. He's got his parents a house.
What's a Maybach?
They're like $100,000 or sometimes $1 million cars. They are like the most top of the line, expensive, gaudy car you could get.
How do you know factually that he didn't pay his taxes, that he doesn't have a single person who was smart enough to take off when needed to be paid and just pay it? Like, why would he be that dumb in this day and age?
I mean, dude, I just look at the track record of heavyweight boxers in history, and
taxes?
That's typically how it goes. You win the first one, you get a bigger paycheck than you've ever gotten with the promise of significantly more money down the road.
You don't worry about it.
You don't worry about it, right? I'll pay the taxes for both of them off this next fight, and then I'll make money on the third one. The third one's not coming anymore. I really think
he still has enough money off the second one to pay any back taxes and, still have a couple million.
I mean, here's the thing. I would be shocked if he walked away. At the end of this...
What's 5 million divided by 65?
All right, I'll pull it up right now. 5 million. 1, 2, 3. That's 50,000. 5 million divided by... it would be times 0.65, right? 65% of...
No. I want to do 5 million divided by 65. I don't want to know what 65% of 5 million is. Just 5 million divided by 65.
Okay, it's 76,923.
Okay, so that is about what yours and I's at our absolute best. If we turned around our lives tomorrow and we made the max income that we're probably going to make... That would be what we might, and we lived to a long age, like of 90, and worked all the way till 90, we would stand to maybe make $5 million under the best set of circumstances. Now, if you understand the principle of time value of money, that money you get today is worth more than money you earn later because you can earn interest on it, just $5 million alone is an absurd amount of money. I can't believe that this guy made $30 million over the course of the year, and he's not going to be walking away with enough to live on.
Here's the problem. Evander Holyfield has to, pitch car dealerships on the weekend to pay his back taxes. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, dude, I'm telling you, the track record, because the problem is, right? Okay. Yes, you're correct. $5 million is a tremendous amount of money for any normal person.
But not when you owe interest to the government on 10.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. And when you get into a situation where you go out and you're buying $1 million car when you only have 15 of those $1 million, you know what I'm saying? Like I guarantee he's already spent more than the money he made in the first one without paying any taxes on that. Still has to pay taxes on the second one. Still has to pay his managers, agents, everybody else.
This is, I'm working on a joke in my act, and this also comes up in the second half of the show, and we're going to have to figure out a new way of not letting people know that we cut this together. But I'm working on an act that I recently discovered. I'm paid 1099 as an employee, and you got to pay quarterly taxes. Harrington, am I losing you here?
No, just trying to produce your show.
What's the production that you're taking the headphones off? You take the headphones off. and that cues you're checking out.
That's not the cue that I'm checking out. I took my headphones off for 1 second to adjust my hat.
Nah, that's some school logic right there. It's all right. I'll let you attend to what you have to attend to. But I did want to watch while we're still on the topic of the Andy Ruiz Jr. thing. I watched a video of the guy who beat him. What's his name again?
Anthony Joshua.
Oh, yeah, Anthony Joshua beat him. At first, I didn't like this Anthony Joshua guy. He seemed a little bit too proper. He didn't seem what I like to see in a fighter. Just kind of had this, fruity energy for a boxing champion. I don't know. I like to see a tougher guy up at heavyweight or someone with a little more personality. He just sounds like, I don't know. He just doesn't draw me in. It's not a personality that goes, hey, I want to root for this guy. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, he's a very reserved champion. He's a classic British boxer.
Why? When you tell me British fighter, I think Mike Bisping. He's as brash and entertaining as they come.
Yeah, but I mean, before that, you had the Lennox Lewises of the world.
Yeah, he was kind of boring too, right?
Yeah,
but he wasn't as flagrantly boring.
Well, Lennox Lewis was kind of flagrantly boring.
Really?
I mean, yeah, he talked about there was never anything other than.
And Lennox Lewis also didn't knock people out much. He just had those incredibly long arms.
Yeah,
I'm accurate about that. So stylistically, he was not the most exciting of heavyweight fighters.
Yeah, but then he got taken out by the Klitschko's, who were even less exciting. So it's like,
and the Klitschko's dominated for a long time.
Yeah, like 9 years.
Those were some big boys.
Kind of just ruined heavyweight boxing.
Who came after the Klitschko's?
Tyson Fury took out the Klitschko's. Tyson Fury took out the main Klitschko. I think it was Vladimir.
Tyson Fury, I haven't watched all of his fights, but he also seems a little bit weird because he's got the crazy reach and he dances around real good for like a man of his size. But he's also not a knockout guy, and he also doesn't seem to like. I don't know. He almost seems to fight on the inside and like the uppercut more than use his range. But I really haven't watched that much. I don't know why I'm giving fight commentary. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Here's the thing. Honestly, like I was explaining this to. I think it might have been you.
Okay.
Or no, I was talking to Andre. Or Danny Polshek. We were talking about, he's like, I don't know too much about boxing. It's like, dude, it's heavyweight boxing. All you got to know is it's just two guys hitting each other.
All right, so I want to watch this video that Anthony Joshua put out of himself where he trains. I have to think that he has a second house, and just when he is training, he moves into this apartment. But it's presented as if this is his primary residence and this is all that he has. So I want you to pull it up because I think you might agree with my take on this. We don't have to watch the whole thing, but people can find it on YouTube. And basically, he's living in a 2-bedroom apartment, not much nicer than what I have.
This is where it goes down.
The video is titled "Welcome to My Crib. Simplicity is key."
Notice the vintage seats. We had these seats in here for about the last 7 years. But the old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Honestly, they're comfortable. They work. I can relax.
Okay, he's basically going, hey, I got a chair and I can sit in the chair. How great is this? Look, there's a fridge. You can put food in the fridge. How great is this? Water bottles, a bottle of this. Hey, look, there's an oven. You know what you can do in an oven? You can cook on an oven. Now you can fast forward. He goes to his bedroom. His bedroom is smaller than mine. He's got a single bed. And then this is
Jesus piece.
Yeah, that's where it starts turning a little propaganda where he's like, well, as long as I have my Jesus piece, I know that I have everything that I need. And then bathroom, basically living in a small 2-bedroom apartment. Okay. Now, here's what I found very inspiring about this, Mr. Harrington. I've sometimes, I find for myself, I'm a little bit claustrophobic, and I've complained that I can't get the best work done in my apartment because it's a very small, cramped apartment, and that I've got the roommate, and he's outside my door, and I've thought to myself, hey, I can't cook in this kitchen, it's a small kitchen, and I fantasized in my mind that if I had money, that even just being able to, like, when I was back in my parents' house and I could sit in, like, a big living room with open windows, I got more writing done. Or when I had more space in the house and I could walk around, like, between, or not even that, I used to have, like, a pull-up bar in my room. I actually had all weight equipment in my room. I had a bike, pull-up bar, and, like, like a bench, like, not a bench press thing, but, like, a bar for squatting and doing deadlifts. I used to get up from my chair and work out. And I felt like having all those little things helped me be more productive. But then I see this, and it's like just such a lesson. Champion, top level, and he's going like I always thought that these people then they end up buying like they've got the sauna in their house, they've got the pit, like one of those cryogenic freezer things, like they've got every tool that you could possibly have that would keep you you above the game where, like, you know, the outsiders couldn't compete with you because, you know what I mean? Like the top technology things, the jacuzzi, so that when you get back from the gym, you sit in it and you're going through recovery. But then you see the guy probably has he made the most of any boxer ever? No, Mayweather probably.
Mayweather for sure.
But he's got to be up there when I see the dollar figures he's getting for some of these fights.
Well, yeah, I mean, as far as like heavyweight boxing, especially recently, he's commanding like the heaviest purses. I mean, I think guys like Canelo Alvarez have still made more in their career. Manny Pacquiao, I'll look it up now, but no, I mean, like for sure, I think $60 million guaranteed for a rematch for a fight he was supposed to win in the first place. I think he made 40 for the first, so $100 million just this year is astounding.
Yeah, or just sleeping in a more comfortable bed so that your body would recover. I don't know. I find that pretty inspiring. That it's like, listen, I keep it simple, and that helps me focus on the task at hand. And this is all I need to be champion.
Well, I think like that's the difference between Ruiz, honestly. If you look at like something like that, Ruiz got himself all the flashy cars, all the, you know, the best of the best, the mansion, like living that Hollywood lifestyle. You know, and it came back to bite him versus somebody like Joshua who stayed humble, who stayed, you know, on his game. And, you know, like it clearly in this sport, it does, you know, there are proven results from it.
All right, so now I want to get into, they did after 2 weeks of, or maybe it was even 3 weeks at this point, all the congressional hearings about, you know, gathering the evidence to put together an impeachment for Donald Trump. They decided to debate it, and I think it went, can you Google this? It was either a 12-hour debate that they had, or it was a 14-hour debate. Either way, it was a full-day event. These people were going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And Mr. Harrington, do you think if people got together for a 12-hour meeting, and the goal of that meeting was that at the end of the day, they were going to take a vote and decide whether or not that they were going to move forward with an impeachment, you think you think they'd take the vote?
I think that's the only thing they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, you would think you get together, you go, hey, we're going to have as long of a meeting as we need to have, and at the end of the thing, we're going to take a vote. And then when it reaches the end, the guy Nadler goes, all right, you know what, we're going to come back and vote tomorrow. And firstly, what's great about that is that, you know, it's like, hey, man, 14 hours of bullshit's not enough. We're going to have to rest up. That way we can come back here tomorrow morning and start spewing some fresh bullshit. I need a rest. I can't even host this vote. Everyone's so bullshitted out. I'm concerned that they won't be able to raise their hands. Everyone's too exhausted. So we got to come back here tomorrow, 8 a.m. And what's great is that the guy sitting next to him, who's the ranking Republican, freaks the fuck out. He reacts like, did you watch Lost at all, Harrington?
Yeah.
So my feeling with Lost is I saw that thing through to the end. It started to suck, but the first seasons were so good. I saw it through to the end, and then you finally got to the end, and you're like, oh, they never even had an ending for this thing. And retroactively, I was pissed from season 1. I was like, they lied to me. I thought they had this whole thing figured out, and they didn't. It sucked at the end. They just like got to the end, and they're like, shit, well, we got to end this somehow. That's basically what happened there.
Makes me very nervous for Watchmen, which I just got into, and it's showrun by Damien Lindelof.
No, is that the same showrunner?
Same showrunner. This first season of Watchmen is, I mean, dude, they legitimately, their last episode is the best love story ever told, and they did it inside of an hour. It's amazing.
Well, maybe I'll check out that episode. I think I watched the first 2 with my roommate. I just thought it was slow. I didn't like the style, and the action sucked.
Did you read Watchmen?
No.
Okay. I mean, it's a seminal graphic novel. If you've ever heard anything about nerd culture.
Seminal and graphic novel, you can sell that as being important, but it's still a graphic novel.
Yeah, I mean, it's legitimately, I mean, if every book is a morality tale, this one just has pictures. It's the only thing that sets it apart. Alan Moore is up there with the best literary minds of the last century.
And you take it that every book is morality tale?
I mean, essentially, yeah.
Okay, sure. I didn't read much as a kid. And then I discovered nonfiction books, and I'm like, these books actually have information. And if I'm going to sit down and I'm going to invest my time in reading, I'll take the ones that are informative over the ones that, you know, are going to try and... I can't concentrate. Like, they start describing stuff and I space out. I'll make it through a chapter and be like, I don't know what the hell's going on in this. Whereas I can go read the Cliff Notes, and then it just gives me the facts. Hey, they went here, they went there, they did their thing, and I'm like, okay, I get it.
I mean, it's the difference between... I'm caught between 2 history podcasts right now, Revolutions and then obviously Hardcore History, and it's like they're both going over, like, one, Revolutions is just like dates, facts, people, this happened, that happened, because of that, this happened. Hardcore History's like, it's like a boxing match. Heavyweight slugging it out on the battlefields of Belgium. And it's like, what the hell are we doing? Like, one's like a fun story. The other one's like date, fact. You know what I mean? I don't know. Can't get behind it. But graphic novels, though, has the picture. So you don't need to imagine what it is. You get to see what it is. You take in all your information right there.
When I first heard other comedians talking about reading comic books, there was a part of my brain that really shat on them in my head. I'm not saying anyone, I'm like, what a bunch of losers. You guys read comic books? Like, firstly, that's only part of it, because I kind of liked all those comic book cartoons, but I was surprised that anyone had money for comic books, because if I think about myself compared to most other comics, I think I actually grew up a little bit more affluent, but I never had cash to go buy comic books. Like, they always seemed very expensive, so they were never, even though they were somewhat intriguing, they were never anything that I purchased. And then in high school, I never would have thought to have read comic books.
Well, like when we were kids, usually it was like, I think Marvel had like a whole promotion through the early 90s. Like we stopped the line at $1.99. So it's like any of those books you could get for $2, you know? And if you're at the grocery store and it's in like a spinner rack anyway, and it's like, you know, this will keep them quiet for an hour for $2.
I read all the, growing up, I used to love, I always read Mad Magazine. That was my absolute favorite. I also loved Calvin and Hobbes. That was my dude.
Hell yeah.
Oh my God, Calvin and Hobbes. I could still every once in a while I end up like in my house and I pull it out. It's still great. There's magic to Calvin and Hobbes.
Dude, the jokes were so strong. They were so strong.
And the cartooning style of the thing, and just the lighthearted, lovable flavor, and then also being able to like relate to this ADD kid who is getting in trouble, and then also kind of feeling, you know what else it was? I almost felt a tinge of shame that the character was so much more imaginative than I was, but I think that also inspired you to be like, it's okay to be like a space cadet.
Yeah, but I think there was also a certain side of it where it's like you look at it as an adult now and it's like, yeah, that's the imagination of like, 30-something-year-old who's had, 2 decades of pop culture influences. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, of course his imagination is deeper, you dick. I couldn't think of anything I wanted to be other than a cop or an astronaut.
I don't know. It was lighthearted. It was fun. You could relate to the guy. And then I also used to love Far Side. You for sure loved Far Side.
Dude, I had the Far Side calendar every single year throughout like elementary through middle school. It was the best.
Brian just picked his head up. He's all about Far Side.
Oh, hell yeah. No, Brian had Brian saying he had like the big volumes.
Yeah,
get, like Barnes and Noble.
And when you can get them in color, that was the jam.
Oh, yeah.
When they pumped them up with the color was great.
Yeah, because they would always do the Sunday Far Side would be in color.
Right.
So they just did like a whole book of all the color ones. It was great.
And then I didn't love this as much, but I did also read a fair amount of Dilbert.
Yeah, Dilbert I could never get into.
You know what was the great one was they did one book of just Wally, and Wally was a great character. Wally was like the mischievous slacker guy in the office who was always getting away with like stunts to not get work done.
Okay. I feel like I got into Garfield a little bit.
Never. Oh, and I will come out strong, hard, and firm. I never got Charlie Brown. Never. Yeah. None of them. None of the cartoons. None of the comics. None of it ever appealed to me in any shape, way, or form. The aesthetic of like the videos that they put together. You know, like they always used to play like the holiday ones. The whole thing did zero for me.
Dude, if you like Charlie Brown, you liked Life cereal.
I like Life cereal.
Oh, dude, you're the worst. How do you like Life cereal?
Here's how you got to eat Life cereal, though. Life cereal is a weird cereal that you can't. Most cereals, when they get soggy or bad, Life cereal, you put into a bowl, you put in the milk, and you got to walk away for like 2 to 3 minutes. You need it to go from, you don't want it soggy, where it starts kind of like all forming into one mold. That's not what you want. But you want when each piece, like as if you put your dick into cold water and it goes like softer, you want each of those pieces to go from crunchy to like bent over soft.
You want like al dente Life cereal.
What's al dente?
That's like it's like the pasta that's got like a little bit of give in it.
Yeah, you want it, a little bit of give. You want it when it all loses its crunch. And I like things with the crunch, but there's something about Life cereal where you got to. And by the way, I am not a person. I usually want to shove things down my throat immediately. Like the second I put it in the bowl, you almost got to treat Life like instant soup. You put the hot water into instant soup, and you got to let it like just sit there for a minute or two, and then you stir it up and you eat it. Life, but you don't want to stir it. You got to pour the milk. You got to walk away.
I just picture you being so impatient.
But also, it's not like I'd put life in I don't know, life is like, you mix it up, and it feels like it's a little healthier, even though it's not. You look at the sugar content, it's just as bad. Yeah. But there's something about it that it seemed like it was less nefarious than, for instance, a bowl of like Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah, that's like why it immediately came to mind.
Which might also be why I am pro-life, is that no, my mom wouldn't really buy like the intense sugar cereals, but I think occasionally we'd have Life. So it might just be that Life was so much better than like a Raisin Bran, for example. I don't know. I think we've talked enough about the cereal. Unless you had something else you wanted to add there.
I got nothing.
Oh, okay. So what was great is the other guy, he freaks out. He's like, dude, we've been here this whole fucking time. What do you mean we're not just taking the vote?
13 hours.
13 hours. There you go. It was a bar mitzvah. So I want you to play this video because it's when he makes the announcement that they're not taking the vote, because it gets a little confusing. So it's, I don't know. Do you see where it is in my notes?
Yep. Give me
Perfect.
1 sec. I'm pulling it up. Oh, Christ almighty.
Well, while you're looking for it, the guy's reaction, his first thing is he goes, 8 a.m., and I can respect a senator who's just furious that he's going to have to wake up early.
Oh, okay.
It's like, what the fuck is this? It's not why I took this job, having to come back at 8 a.m. He looks like, which South Park characters does he look like? I feel like it's the Mongolians who were trying to invade.
No, you know what I'm thinking of? The Nambla guy.
Who's the Nambla
I'll pull him up in 1 second. You want to watch this?
Yeah.
The vote this committee just took was not a vote on final passage of the article. It was a procedural vote which precedes final passage of each of the articles. It has been a long 2 days of consideration of these articles, and it is now very late at night. I want the members on both sides of the aisle to think about what has happened over these last 2 days.
Okay, can you take it back to the beginning? Take it back to the very beginning and play it again.
To be clear, the vote this committee just took was not a vote on final passage of the article. It was a procedural vote which precedes
That's the very beginning.
final passage
Yeah.
of
All right,
each of
you can
the
stop it.
articles.
They brought back the writers to Monty Python. You ever see that scene in Life of Brian?
No.
Okay, you got to play that now. Type in Life of Brian. I don't know. You could probably just do like meeting or political meeting, or I bet they'll bring it up.
Political parties?
Yeah, try that. Because basically they do. They have a meeting about having not having future meetings.
Oh, Christ almighty.
They're like, from now on, instead of talking about getting things done, we're gonna get things done.
This one?
No, it's not this. They're in the room when they.
That any anti-imperialist group like ours must reflect such a divergence of interest within its power base.
Agreed. Francis? Yeah, I think Judith's point of view is very valid, Rick. Provided the movement never forgets that it is the unalienable right of every man or woman.
Not this?
Not this. This scene's funny too, but it's it's at Life of Brian meeting to take action. There you
okay.
go. And boost up the sound. Why is it so low?
Thank you, Reg.
There you go.
Well, quite frankly, siblings, I think 5 years is optimistic, unless we can smash the Roman Empire within the next 12 months. 12 months, yeah, 12 months. And let's face it, as empires go, this is the big one. So we got to get up off our asses and stop just talking about it.
Yeah. I agree. It's action that counts, not words, and we need action now.
Yeah.
You're right. We could sit around here all day talking, passing resolutions, making clever speeches. It's not a shift. One Roman soldier.
So let's just stop gabbing on about it. It's completely pointless and it's getting us nowhere.
I agree. This is a complete waste of time.
They've arrested Brian!
What?
They've dragged him off! They're going to crucify him!
Right. This calls for immediate discussion.
What?
Immediate. Right. New motion. Completely new motion.
All right, you can stop it.
There be immediate.
All right, now replay Nadler. Replay Nadler and tell me this isn't out of the exact same script.
To be clear, the vote this committee just took was not a vote on final passage of the article. It was a procedural vote which precedes final passage of each of the articles. It has been a long 2 days.
All right, you can stop it there. And then here was the other thing that I just loved about all of these meetings. Did you watch any of them? Did you catch any of the highlights?
Dude, you told me they were boring, so I was like, all right.
Yeah,
I'm
they
not
were pretty
watching.
boring. But one thing that's funny is that they're very nasty to each other. And amidst being nasty to each other, they still have to be politicians. So, like, here's my take on it. You'll have, like, Democratic Nadler go, I'd like to remind the gentleman, you know, he's like the head of it, like hit the thing, like, I'd like to remind the gentleman from Tennessee that I think he's a lying sack of shit. And then the other guy will go, I want to be recognized. Mr. Chandler, can I be recognized? And he'll go, the gentleman from Tennessee is re-recognized. And he goes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to let everyone know that I think you're a Jew-faced liar. And then the chairman will go, that's enough. The chairman would like to thank the gentleman. And now for his comments, it's like such a ridiculous structure where everyone refers to everyone as the gentleman and the chairman, and then they're just totally cunts to each other.
That's so funny.
Oh, by the way, in total ADD fashion, can we go back to, I want to go back to talking about the fight for 1 second, the Andy Ruiz thing.
Okay.
If I love that it was in Saudi, or you know, that the Saudis put it on, and the second they just put up entertainment, we're like, all right, we're cool with these people. If they're gonna pay for our entertainment, I don't have a problem with them.
Hell yeah, dude. I mean, dude, we let the WWE get away with it.
No, but it's just like it's a testament of like, you know, you just have to give people something, and they don't care. And all right, on that note, when it comes to entertainment, I feel like there's this really great book called I think it was Entertaining Ourselves to Death. Shit, I probably should have looked up what it was before I started this. But basically, I mean, you can look at Trump and you could say that he's the first reality TV president. But
Sure.
that analysis is almost quasi-inaccurate because he's also, in part, the first social media president.
No.
Well, you could say Obama is because he used Facebook very well, but Obama still did get coverage through traditional means, and he also was a politician, whereas Trump was almost, I mean, a businessman, but also his background was more of an entertainer, and as people who seem to care more about entertainment than legislation or like a moral code, you know, in a culture obsessed with entertainment, someone like Trump can rise to the top because he's the best at the thing that we care the most about.
Yeah, but we already had this with Reagan, and we already had this with JFK winning the.
You mean that he looked prettier? And that's all it took was looking prettier.
Well, yeah, I mean, JFK is the first one to realize that, you know, all he had to do was use TV, right?
Yeah.
It was a medium that Nixon didn't understand yet, right?
Well, then Nixon won the next one because he figured out, hey, I need to use TV.
Thanks
and then
to our boy Raj.
Yeah, he worked with Raj. And by the way, Raj is the one who really... I read the book, it was like The Electing of a Blank President. They were talking about all the TV production and how they managed to, like, Nixon would just be in there for set amounts of times, and they would, like, get all the questions beforehand so you could be prepared for those questions. And then, oh my God, like, they'd get the lighting. They'd make the place super cool so that he wouldn't sweat. All these fucking tricks. But anyways... So you keep going, like, you know, everything kind of builds on itself. So that keeps building on itself all the way till you get to Trump, who he's here because he's just entertaining. But what's coming next is forget, like, reality TV, which we can all say was, like, kind of a guilty pleasure. It was not the highest of arts forms,
Still
but
is.
we all kind of liked it. But worse than that, I think we can all agree, is the YouTube and social media influencers. Like that, if you want to start comparing what's like garbage cultural television, you jump from reality TV to like what some of these YouTube stars are, and you're like, okay, this is certifiably more garbagey. Is that fair?
Yeah. I'm worried about where this is going, Rob.
Oh, why? Where do you think it's going?
You're going to tell, like, because you're right, it is the natural progression, and I fucking hate the fact that, like, you know.
No, what I'm getting at is if you thought Trump was scary, your next round of politicians are going to be social media stars. That is the downward trajectory here. The first one is kind of AOC, but there's worse people coming. We're at stage one of jumping from going further down this rabbit hole of, hey, let's elect entertainers, or just being like, that's being the cultural value. That's how you become popular. That's how you win us over. And we're going from traditional politicians who I guess figured out, well, how can I look pretty or how can I use TV as a medium, to people who we just know from TV as a medium and they're good at being on TV and they're comfortable in that setting so they can win a debate against a seasoned politician, to what's coming next, which is young kids who I don't understand who are voting, who will be voting for people who they found through social media. Yes.
Well, I happen to know of a show that has like a pretty good YouTube presence, deals with a lot of millennials, and I'm sure even some Zoomers. Part of the problem, like why aren't we just figuring out a way to make Dave a senator?
Well, Dave's not interested. For one, I would take that job because I'm a scumbag piece of shit, and I know what the retirement benefits look like. And to get the inside look, listen, I work sales, dude. I will play that part for 4 years, get the inside look on how government really looks because I think it's fascinating. In an act of nobility, I would stay true to my libertarian goals, and I would try to reduce government as much as possible. And I would paint the story, hey guys, you voted for me, and I'm a fucking retard. And if you voted for me and I'm retarded, think about how dumb you guys are that you're putting people like me in here, people that will use words like retarded.
Say it to camera. This is your moment, Robbie. Say it to camera.
Okay. If you guys vote for me, a retard, Robbie the retard, known in some circles, what does that say about you? What does that say about you as the voting public and your ability to make decisions about who you're going to put into office? What it says is that you can be lied to. What it says is that you don't have a great gauge of character and that nefarious individuals are able to take these government offices and then use them for private gain. You know how I know that? Because that's what I'm doing today. I took this job because I know that there's great insurance benefits and enough of a pension plan that I will be set for the rest of my life. I also get a personal thrill about seeing the inside work of politics, and I'm here solely for the entertainment and for the benefits that come when I leave office. But the moral of the story is if I can be here and scam the system, others can as well, and that's why we must lessen the role of government. They are doing you no favors. People like me are here exploiting the system for their own good, and that's why I'm going to do everything within my power to lessen the role of government, also because I'm lazy. I don't even really want to work while I'm here, which is in your best interest because anything I do would probably not benefit you anyways. So but while I'm here, I'm not going to work because I'm lazy. I'm going to take the benefits, and I'm going to try and restrict government as much as possible so that the next guy can't screw you as much as I did. How was that?
Sorry, I was trying to find the fucking presidential music.
We could put it in post. I ramble a little bit too. I probably could have kept it a little bit more concise. But anyways, out in I think it's Michigan, there's this lady who's running against Ilhan Omar. She got thrown off of Twitter because she said some nasty remarks about Ilhan Omar that people didn't appreciate. And just to kind of show, I guess, how far... like, traditional politicians, I don't see how people vote for them or buy into their bullshit, but at least there's like a flavor of the traditional politician that I can understand how people could buy into. But these next generation of politicians, it's like, it's the same as YouTube influencers. I don't get why it's entertaining. I don't get why people like it.
1200 live.
So I want to watch a little bit of a few of these videos just to kind of show people how much of a freak this chick is.
All right.
Attractive and trashy, but just you got to hear a little bit of her to believe it.
Why am I not?
It's numbered 4 where it says 8:21, which means go to like around 8 minutes and 21 seconds.
Okay. This looks like it's going to be a goddamn nightmare.
Oh yeah.
All right, just want to make sure I got everything else muted.
Site yet? I saw on Twitter you guys were working on that.
It's in the process of being built. Hopefully we can get it up in about a week or so, and I will be able to share more of my views. I've been trying to keep up with everybody's questions, and I can't. I'm trying. I just don't have enough time in the day to answer everybody individually.
Gotcha. So where did you grow up and where do you live now?
I grew up in Illinois. I grew up in a little town called Freeport.
Shreveport, you said?
Freeport.
Oh, okay.
It's about 2 hours outside of Chicago.
Okay.
I lived there until I was about age 12. And
Okay, you can stop it there.
And now I live in
I'm just telling you, I don't think this person's going to make it to office, but just expect you're going to see more young, attractive people that make absolutely no sense to you, that just talking that, and you'll be like, I don't even know if that's English. What language are these people talking? What the fuck is going on here? And we're at the beginning of it, and no one else is talking about that. That's a fucking scandal of the century, is that fucking retards with YouTube shows are going to be making a run for this stuff.
Robbie, I don't understand why you're fighting against this. Let's just lean into it. Let's get you elected.
You know what? I just need a level of fame. If we can figure out how to attract more of an audience, then, sandwiches for all.
Sandwiches for, I mean, again, Robbie, anytime you make a declaration like that, I need you to look at camera.
Sandwiches for all. Yeah, no, sandwiches for all. My name's Robert Bernstein, and I approve this sandwich. Are you sick of being packed meatloaf by your wife? Keep playing it. Do you walk around hungry, unsure where you should be eating your next meal? Well, that's what I'm here for. Once you put me into office, you'll never have to be concerned about where you'll eat lunch again. All sandwiches will be provided on rye bread, of course, with delicious deli meats. Whatever you want to put on there, just stacked high deli meats, fresh barbecue. Whatever you want to put between your rye bread is your business, and we support you. And that's why, when's the next election? 2024?
Yeah, you're not going to be eligible by 2020, right?
What do you mean? I'm 31. I'm an old man.
No, you got to be 35, so 2024.
No, I don't want to be president. President's too much. Just senator. Senator, you get all the benefits. It's a good time.
I don't know. Isn't that every year, senator? Isn't there a senator opening every other year or something?
Who knows? All right, it's enough of the shenanigans. I would like to turn this over to Mr. Feldstein. Let's give him a call and let's see what he's up to. Okay. Mr. Feldstein, first I want to say thank you for allowing Harrington a couple minutes to eat dinner. I like that you respect dinner enough that if a man had a fresh plate of food, you weren't going to keep you weren't going to keep him to his schedule. You weren't going to go, hey.
That's just it's like, of course. There would be no alternative.
It's the nature of what we do here. You show up with a fresh plate.
If I would deny a man dinner, if I would, that's just not me.
Then Yosef Feldstein's not your name.
It's not. Let's not have the record state that that's my name. But
absolutely, it's been a long time. How have you been? How have the kids? How's the holiday season? The rest of your birthday celebrations?
Oh, it started and ended when you saw it.
All right, and Thanksgiving?
But the holidays were great. I was sad that I didn't get a chance to see you during it, but it was still good nonetheless.
Well, next year you'll have to come out for the Shedcast when we do the second chapter in the reenactment of Alice's Restaurant. I hope that you'll be able to make it and party with us in the shed.
Well, I was more talking about the rendezvous in Stanford on Thanksgiving Day.
Well, you know, that wasn't as much the highlight, but I get where your head's at. I get where you're coming from.
If I was there, it would have been the highlight. I would have made it the highlight.
Yosef, I ate a half a pound of ginger cookies today, and then I also drank. They have their ginger triple brew, which I was reading about when I was at home because they send out that fancy flyer that they really get. Like they like to write like a whole book about here's what's going on at Trader Joe's this month, and there's some old like 40-year-old women who really sit down and type the hell out of that thing. And the first page was about the ginger beer, and that's all I read. After that, I got bored. But then when I was in the store, I was like, all right, they really talked this thing up. I got to go find it. So I was having gin in my ginger, in the ginger beer thing, while eating those ginger cookies, and I am fucked up right now, dude. I am hopped up on ginger.
That's a good place to be. I feel like you didn't give it its proper intro.
No. I biked to that Trader Joe's, worked up an appetite, got outside the store, and before getting up back on my bike, I ripped them open like the savage I am, and I ate them on a street corner, and I ate like 3 or 4 to experience it. Then I brought it back. I shared it with my friends and ate some more, and then I came back to it.
I'm just saying you're like, yeah, I fucking ate some cookies. I don't even think you said cookies.
You mean
I
that
don't
I
even
didn't
think you said the word
that
cookie.
well, you know what it is? It's that it started off delicious, but I ate too many of them, so I got mixed feelings. But you went big on this. You said I found a cookie that's so good.
I rarely take such a
bold
hard
stance.
line stance on anything.
You like to remain more neutral.
Yeah, I kind of like toe the line. I don't want to go outside my bounds. But on this, I think what I said to you, it's the best mass-produced cookie that I've ever had, and that your Chips Ahoy and your Oreos could suck my dick, and your Tates, is that Tates, right?
People do like the Tates. People like the Tates.
People like Tates. But the Trader Joe's mini gingerbread with fudge icing, I believe it's called. How good was that icing?
It's a white fudge icing. It's basically what you'd find on the outside of like a Flips pretzel, like the white fudge flip pretzel.
Yeah,
but on the bottom of a crispy ginger snap.
It has the perfect snap, that gingerbread cookie. Perfect snap. Icing, it's not like it would fall off. It was fully encased on the back of it. It was just perfect. It's the perfect cookie.
It had the almost the bite of like a pretzel. That's how much snap the thing had in it. But let me ask you this. Do you feel like if you were eating that cookie year round, that it would have the same staying power for you as an Oreo cookie?
Absolutely not.
You mean
the time of year definitely adds to it, but I think if you, again, it comes back to we've been talking about this for many years. If you keep it isolated in a very small range of time, just like the pumpkin stuff, which went way outside its comfort zone to the point where it just did bad things for the pumpkin stuff.
Slutty pumpkin. That's what happened.
If you keep it in a 1 month kind of tight range, it's the perfect cookie, because you could only have it 1 month a year. And I think I doubt you'd be able to find that at a Trader Joe's in March.
So what Trader Joe's has year round, which is a very similar item.
Beautiful things.
They've got those tubs with like the cookie dunkers, and they have like a frosted oatmeal dunker. The taste profile is very similar. Now, what's devilish about this cookie is that it comes in a full pound box. Not for a big price tag. I mean, if you wanted to eat a full pound of cookies every day,
I don't even know. I didn't actually purchase it. It was probably under $5, right?
I'm eyeballing $3.50, but I could be wrong here because I wasn't paying that much attention. Yeah.
The thing was massive, and even in my house where I exist, and also 2 kids and a wife eating them, the box lasted forever, it seemed like.
How do you... So I don't understand this about you, because you're not...
Tremendously large box.
You're not a skinny fellow, and a box of food... Because I've been to your house before, and I've opened up the snack drawer, and I go, I don't understand how this is still here tomorrow morning. Because if I had that snack drawer, it would not last till tomorrow morning. I would eat all of it until I got sick, But how is that? Like, I don't understand how... You've got the fat bone, but like you don't need to finish what's in your house. I don't get that. I don't get how
because I know that it kind of has to last till the end of the week or the end of 2 weeks, something like that. Like that's kind of in there mentally.
You know how to pace yourself. I'm kind of like that with booze. I want to have a long-term relationship with booze. So like, even though I drink, I know how to like not overdo it on any given evening. Because I want to be able to come back to it the next day. I'm like a marathon runner when it comes to my alcoholism. Now, Mr. Harrington,
when it comes to booze, you don't like to have too much around for that exact reason.
Yeah, I had to take it out of the house the other week. I made the mistake recently. I went whatever happened. I was in the liquor store, and then once I took out my card, I bought like just a whole I think 4 or 5 bottles or whatever. And then what ends up happening is on nights that I wouldn't have drinking at all, I'll end up having like 2 doubles before I go to bed very casually. And then all of a sudden you turn around and it's like on a week where you would have had 0 drinks, you've now had 4 drinks every single night before bed. And you're like, there was just no reason for that. I could have just gone to sleep instead of having...
You've been totally fine without it.
Yeah, it did nothing for me. Like, why am I drinking 2 doubles before I go to sleep for no reason? There's nothing good... There's nothing I got to take the edge off for before I'm doing. All right. So before we move on here, Harrington decided he really wanted to taste these cookies in all their glory. So he went on
He has a review too?
Yeah, he went on a 24-hour fast to completely cleanse his palate from any other food items and get into this food 100% fresh. Harrington, what can you tell us? What can you report to us as a man coming off a 24-hour fast and trying these cookies?
The best cookie I've ever eaten.
There you go. And now, that might be because he was starving. I don't know. Do you think it was because you were starving, or?
Nope. I never believe any of my actions have consequences. So by that logic, those cookies are perfect just the way they are.
And by the way, as we come into holiday season and we try and inspire people and share the feel-good spirit, Harrington, can you share the good news with us?
Yes, Robbie Bernstein. As of about 10 days ago, I am now a homed person.
There you go. Oh. The Harrington. And do you find like you have to ease your way back into home living? Like now you just sleep on the floor and then you move up to the bed. You don't shower every day. Like, how are you kind of transitioning? Is it a difficult transition?
So it's funny that you put it like that because initially, like when I moved in, I didn't have I had a bed.
Do you play the sounds of the subway to go to sleep?
So I had a mattress, a bed frame, but I didn't have a mattress on it for like the first couple of days. So yeah, in fact, I was sleeping on the floor.
There you go.
For like 4 or 5 days there, and then I moved on to, like sleeping on a mattress with no sheets. Now I have sheets and a blanket. You're
a rich man.
No, I'm not a rich man. It's like I am easing into it in the sense that like I don't shower there regularly. I don't like the shower. I got used to like showering at Blink Fitness, so it gets me in the process of like getting up, going to the gym, and then showering. You know what I mean?
If Harrington were a rich man. Yeah,
Where do you move, Harrington?
Sunnyside, Queens.
All right.
Yeah, dude. It's all right.
What's the roommate situation?
Bunch of people who I don't know. But we're making it work. There's an elderly Asian couple.
Do they yell at each other? Because then that could be a lot of fun.
Constantly.
Oh, that's so fun.
It's not the worst.
Oh, that's so fun. And do they have heavy Asian accents also?
I mean, come on, dude.
So fun. Are you kidding me?
It's not all it's cracked up to be, especially because like he's a super loud snorer, and I'm on like an inside room that doesn't have any windows. So like my only form of ventilation is like the window that leads out to the kitchen and then the window that or like the vent that goes into their bedroom. So I just hear him snoring all night long.
So you just feel like you're like breathing.
It's a lot, dude. Anytime they fight, anytime they have any kind of argument at night, it's I just have to give up on sleep. It's a goddamn nightmare.
Are they up at like 2 a.m. just smoking cigarettes and yelling at each other?
No, there's no smoking in the apartment, unfortunately, because if there was, my God, dude, I am white trash enough to love smoking in an apartment. But
even in a room without a window, you would smoke a cigarette?
In a heartbeat. There's 2 vents. I would definitely do it.
Interesting.
Yeah, dude, I don't give a fuck. I have nothing valuable in my apartment. Like,
the only problem is if you pull that move, your clothes, it's like a different level of how much your clothes will start smelling like cigarette smoke. It gets a little gross.
Yeah. I mean, dude, everything about me is a little bit gross. It's fine.
What's up, BK Chris? All right.
He's got nothing else for you. And
what's the bathroom situation like? Have you had moments where you got to take a shit and it's just like there's a line of people?
One bathroom that's the only thing that's happened to me once is I had to pee like unreasonably bad. Like I drank like a whole liter of seltzer before bed, and I had to go. There was somebody who just started a shower. When I opened up my eyes, I was like, fuck. So I went into the kitchen and I grabbed a wonton soup thing and I went back into my room and like peed in it.
And then I accidentally put it back in the sink and the fridge.
I left it in the corner of my room for like 2 days until I could like go and dump it in the toilet at like 2 a.m. without anybody knowing.
Oh, that's terrible.
It's disgusting.
I've had a couple times where I woke up and I had to like get out of my apartment quick and go to the gym, because otherwise my roommate was in the bathroom and I would have shat my pants.
That's
like
so
I had to fucking sprint out of there. I knew it was coming. I knew that's why I woke up early. I gotta say, of every pet peeve, like of all the things that kind of bother me in the world, the biggest one is waking up in the morning and not being able to use the bathroom like right away. I find I've got my stomach pretty trained to shit for breakfast. That's what I do. And if I don't get that thing out of there, it could be a whole blockage. It could create a lot of problems for me, Mr. Felton. It causes a lot of anxiety. And so I've told my roommate before, like, we got to keep to a schedule. I don't care what it is. Like, you tell me when you want to wake up. I make my own schedule. Like, I will train myself. You want to start waking up every morning at 8 a.m.? I'll switch to 7:30. You want 8 a.m.? I'll go to 8:30. You pick it, but you got to keep to it. And let me tell you, when I've woken up in the morning with my alarm, like at 8, and he's still in the bathroom because he woke up late. I mean, I don't say anything ever.
If you don't have access to the bathroom, it just.
When you wake up, and not just that, when you've agreed on the schedule, it's like, hey man, you can have first dibs.
You actually agreed to this?
Yeah, I was like, you have first dibs. I don't care what time you want it, but that's your time. And then he never kept to it, man. I would get so mad. I never said anything though, because I'm a pussy. But I would just sit outside and resent his soul. I'd curse his spirit.
I thought you didn't have the conversation.
No. I had the conversation of like, hey man, I need to know what time you're waking up in the morning. I don't care what it is, but like, you know, I got to know when I can wake up and use the bathroom. But he didn't keep to it. Nope, not a man of his word, not a man of dignity, not a man of honor. Unlike you, Mr. Yosef, which brings us to our next topic. You're here to defend a man's will to go and eat what he pleases, to enjoy his life, to fill his belly, to eat the carbs and stay calm, and that's why you're protesting the vegan lifestyle. You're saying that there's evidence out there of people who have been trying to impose the vegan lifestyle on their kids. Children who don't have a choice. They don't know better. They're following their parents' lead. They're under the guidance of the elders who've been entrusted in them to protect them and serve them well. And you're taking issue with this, so lay it on us.
What a buildup! No, I just saw this news story about these fucking parents who were, I guess, imposing their vegan lifestyle and diet on their 18-month-old. Like, what the fuck, man?
Is tit milk vegan?
Yeah, but at a certain point, like, kids need to start eating actual stuff.
Also, I could bet vegan tit milk probably just comes out like air. It's like if you're just like doing vegan shit all the time.
It always goes back to tit milk with you and kids. You think like that's what they survive on for like 10 years.
That's what I would go for if I was a kid. Be like, forget those foods. Give me that tit milk back.
But I think also the problem was kid was born at home and never saw a doctor.
Oh shit! They were some real freaks. Why'd they do that?
Because they live in Florida.
It's just everyone in Florida is like, you know what? I live in Florida. I got this figured out. We got sunlight here. I don't need a doctor.
I hope we don't have any listeners in Florida, but no, that's just where the story was. But no, they were like, vegan, kind of like holistic, hippie people, and they thought they could carry this on, and the kid died. So,
well, I guess that didn't really work. Did not work out too good.
Like my 9-month-old, I've said this before. Like Thanksgiving, he was eating turkey by the leg.
Yeah, he just scooped up the whole leg.
No, seriously, he was holding that bone, just gnawing at it like for a couple days.
Dipping it in the gravy.
Oh yeah.
Wait, you did meatballs on Thanksgiving?
No, I'm just saying that's something that he eats. He's not a vegan.
Now, do you cook Thanksgiving? Is that accurate? Or you go to your How do you get stuck? Or you like it? You're good. You're a pretty good chef.
Yeah, I love the whole experience, and then sitting down and seeing the fruits of my labor.
I for the most part, I'm such a bad cook that when I cook things, it tastes so bad. I wonder if it's just that I'm a bad cook or if I'm eating rotten food that's going to make me sick. Like that's now
like that you're poisoning yourself.
I like sometimes I get nervous. Oh, this meat must have been bad. Now there are some things that I've figured out. It's just not that easy to cook in my apartment. And I was going with the crock pot for a little bit, but I was running into some hiccups with that. I just ordered.
Crockpots are very forgiving.
Well, like we had the incident with the ribs when I just stayed up till 4 a.m, and then I tried cooking. Like chicken breast, which came out okay, but it's not a great. Like I know how to cook a good cholent. Like I think like overnight with like the slow cooked meats are good, but I find I need things done a little quicker. So I bought an Instapot. I just bought the Instapot. I'm gonna start experimenting with that. I think it's gonna suit me a little better.
It's gonna blow your dick off. That thing is perfect for you because it's like, okay, I want a braised beef that generally takes 18 hours in 12 minutes. And you will have that.
Yeah, that's what I need. Also, I gotta change up my sandwich bodega living a little bit. Mostly because over the last couple of years, I thought I wasn't making like enough money that I should concern myself with savings, and so I was being a little compulsive with my spending. And
bricks.
What? Yeah, I'm actually trying to take care of some tax stuff at the moment, and I was looking through basically all of my finances from the last couple of years, and first I discovered this past year I actually made what for me is like a reasonable amount of money. Like there are actual real working professionals out there that would laugh at my income, but compared to I guess being broke, like I'm like, okay, that's a decent check, all things considered. And then I look at what's going to be left after I actually pay taxes, and I'm like, all of my money went to sandwiches. I mean, all of it. Like, I might be in debt to the government for overeating bodega sandwiches, which, by the way, I want to make a motion here. Food, if you weigh less than 200 pounds, all food should be tax deductible. Who's the government to say that they deserve your money before you've at least eaten?
Nah, I don't like that because I want my tax break.
So I think, all right, listen. I somewhat said it like on with the very strict terms because for comedic value, I didn't want to get too into the details, but I think that there could be a strict formula here of height to weight, that if you're within that height to weight, you can deduct your meals. Over that amount, you're overeating, and so, listen, you're allowed to overeat, but you're going to be taxed for that amount of food because you don't need it, but I also think there should be a fat margin. Like, for example, I'm only 5'6". Totally fit for me is probably 155. A little chunky, 165. 175, 185, we're getting into like, all right, this guy's got some chub on it. 200, we're at light fat. That's light fatness. We're now a fat guy, but we're not obese. We're not what Harrington was a couple months ago. We're not there. By the way, Harrington's looking sexy as hell. He's like 2 weeks away from being my frame, which I don't like. It's lighting a candle on my ass. I don't want to be in second place fatness on the podcast. I don't want that. I want to be number one skinny. That's why I've collected this cast of characters.
You've done a fine job.
We might have to replace Harrington with a thicker producer. We'll bring back G-Mike temporarily until we can get Harrington fed. Harrington, anything on these allegations?
No, I mean, here's the thing. I wish so much that I was raised like that. You know how happy I would be if I was raised to be like a full on, if I was just to be full, like I met a kid who in summer camp who was like raised vegetarian, and it's like he was the best athlete I ever met, fucking trim, had a 6-pack at like 15. Dude, I would kill to have that kind of confidence. You know what I mean? So like, I do think that these kids, I think it's the way to go. For your kid, because like, yo, they don't know any better.
Oh, you're going back like 3 stories here.
Oh, I thought.
No, I'm on board. I'm okay. I like.
You hadn't kicked it to me, so I was still waiting.
I think there's a difference between. I think there's a difference between like once the kid's like 10 years old and like train and like doing like a vegetarian lifestyle and like literally a baby and restricting their food, and that's where they'll never get to the point to be an athlete when they're fucking like, I don't know. Just.
I disagree. I think that you can feed kids nothing but vegetable proteins. They can get all the vitamins and minerals that they need without becoming addicted to the garbage. And before you know it, you have a super athlete on your hands.
All right. I don't know. I'm a little skeptical. I don't like dead babies around.
I mean, I don't think there's any like right way to do things, but I can tell you my mom was actually really strict about eating healthy and unhealthy foods. And even from I used to like yeah. It's I don't know. It's the same thing as like it's like drugs when you're a kid. You'll find sugar. You figure it out. It's the thing that you're not allowed to have, and then at some point you hit the age where you can just go to the bodega and eat nothing but donuts every night, and you don't live in your parents' house, and you can put on 30 pounds your freshman year of high school because all of a sudden Drake's cakes aren't just available on the weekends, and at some point that gets bored, so you move on to that's the real gateway drug. They talk about marijuana. It's sugar.
Sugar for sugar.
Yeah, that's the gateway drug. All right. So as we kind of come into more of the holiday season, firstly, Mr. Felton, you got any Christmas plans with the family?
No, we're home, but we don't. It's a day off.
Nice.
Don't need to do anything. It's great.
It's the best. It's the best for the year.
What are you doing? Are you going back home?
Well, this is I love this about Christmas. For years, I mean, we never did anything for Christmas, but then at some point, my grandparents decided to make a big stink out of their anniversary, and their anniversary happens to be on Christmas. So I always get a kick out of the fact that the family's getting together to celebrate Christmas, and I always make a big thing about how we're all getting together for Christmas, which obviously it isn't. My old tradition for Christmas used to be, I don't know where I picked this up, but it was just to drink rum and eggnog. That started in high school. You get a Christmas hat, and you get drunk on rum and eggnog.
Okay.
Sounds delicious.
Harrington, you want to celebrate Christmas with you? You don't drink, but you can have the eggnog.
Nah, dude, I can't, man. I'm grinding, dude. I'm below 205 for the first time since like 2016. I'm not giving into eggnog and cookies at Robbie's house. Get out.
Yeah, that's like it's not even like he's easing you into something like, oh, have this one mini gingerbread cookie.
Yeah, come
it's like
chug
eggnog.
lard at my
Eggnog's
house.
Eggnog's like the fucking worst.
I don't even know how well my stomach would handle eggnog at this point. But as we come into holiday season, there are some annoying traditions, things that happen out there. You leave your house, you got to deal with people doing some terrible, horrible things. And one of the things that you've confronted, which I haven't seen that much of, is people with bells on their clothing.
It is the fucking worst. There's one coworker, sweetest lady in the world. Love her. She's kind of like the office grandma. She's great. But right after Thanksgiving, she slaps those bells on her every day. She wears bells on her clothing, on her legs, on her shirts, and every time she walks by, it's just like the fucking, what is it? The Make-A-Wish?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's picture that sound constantly throughout the whole day every time she walks by, and then couple that with like Christmas music being blared through the hallways at every turn and on everywhere you look.
Have a merry jolly Christmas.
You probably want to blow your brains out.
I like the most wonderful time of the year. I like that song a lot.
No, I enjoy many of the songs.
Here's the biggest problem. It's the same thing that we were saying with when Pumpkin got all slutty, start putting it out a little bit too easy. If they did 2 days of Christmas songs, you'd be like, fuck yeah, I love these songs. Yeah. But by the fourth hour of it, because it's basically, let's just say there's probably 1 hour of good Christmas songs, and everywhere you go, they're playing like a different variation of that same hour of songs.
Or it's on like repeat, like the cycle.
The fourth time in the season that you hear Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, you're like, find me that deer, I'm going to kill it.
Not even a little bit what it is.
What?
Red-nosed reindeer.
What did I say?
Red rose?
I said red nose, you dumbass.
You said red rose.
Why would I say red rose? That doesn't even make sense. He wants to get into another fight with his wife on air. Give him a second.
Oh, dude, that's the best way for him to get laid.
That's true. It's a working formula, buddy. Just keep inviting her on. We'll get her all riled up, and you'll be having a whole army of Henrys. All right, inappropriate, Harrington.
But where the fuck where was
You're
that?
talking about the bells? What's up with this lady? No one said anything yet.
She's way too nice for anyone to really say anything.
Nah, it's on you guys, dog.
Yeah, she needs to know. She's a nice person. She doesn't want to be bothering everyone, bringing bad vibes when she's trying to bring good vibes on a daily basis. Just ring-a-linging, ring-a-linging, ring-a-linging.
Seriously, I'm gonna tape this.
I got a good idea for you. Maybe get a matching sweater, and then you could show up all excited, like, "Look, Marge, I got a matching sweater. I got the same sweater you do." And then she'll realize how annoying it is every time you walk by, and then she'll go, "Hey, you know what? I think we both should get rid of these sweaters."
Yeah, that's actually a great idea. I don't think I could pull it off though.
Maybe for one day. What does the sweater look like? Is it like red and Christmassy?
No. It's not like it's an actual item of clothing. It's a add-on. It's
what?
Like
oh, she's clipping it on to whatever she's wearing?
Yeah. It's brutal.
That's really bad.
Like, it's not like, once a week he's wearing her Christmas time Jingle Bell sweater. That would be a complete different thing. She's attaching literal bells to her shoes, her pants, her fucking shirts, everything. And she's just a walking Salvation Army.
She's walking around with her own shame bells for her outfit. All right, Mr. Harrington, before we let Mr. Feldstein go, did he have any questions for our man out in the suburbs? Because he actually owns a home now. Like, if you needed more advice for easing into home living, he's like a home owning expert.
He's the guy. No, I mean, I think I'm pretty good. I'm pretty confident in my place. I'm confident I'm going to be able to keep it. So that's what's most exciting for me. But I'm wondering, like, do you guys? So I understand, like, Hanukkah was like kind of your answer to Christmas. You know what I mean? Like, but
our answer to Christmas, I think we had Hanukkah first.
Hanukkah,
which, by the way, has the title The Festival of Lights. And then the fucking Christians come in and they're like, "Oh, you guys just have a dumb menorah. I'll show you lights." And then they start putting them all up on their houses. I'll tell you, whoever markets the Christian holidays, they do a way better job. They just seem like so much more fun from the outside.
Jews. Are you kidding me? They're not bilking you guys out of your money.
Oh, that's a fair point.
They're like, yeah, we want these fucking, let's just pump them full of bullshit.
You know what?
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled.
You know what stands out in my mind as being the best Christmas commercial ever that could not have made me more feel like I was missing out on whatever Christmas was that old Sega Genesis commercial for the original Sega Genesis. Do you remember that at all? Maybe that doesn't stand out to either of you guys in any way.
No. Just
all right.
The Hess truck commercials.
What?
Just the Hess truck commercials.
For Christmas, the Hess truck's here. I never once got a Hess truck. Fuck the Hess truck. Nothing interesting there to me.
Hold on, let me see. Is this it?
It's like totally linked to Christmas.
This one?
Yeah. There you go.
Can you see this? Yosef?
Yeah, I could see
Matt
it.
got a Sega Genesis. I heard Matt got a Sega Genesis.
That's what Robbie was mad about.
That's what it was. I thought some little cute lady.
I guess one more is okay.
You didn't care about like the little fatty. But when the cute blonde shows up, you're like, yeah.
I just wanted some friends. It just seemed like you could have friends if you got one. Do you remember playing NBA Jam back in the day, right when Shabbat ended? Ah, what a classic. Harrington, what would you say is the single best, or top 2 Christmas gifts you ever received as a kid? Like, that one showed up and you're like, fuck, that's what I wanted. Holy shit, I can't believe you got that.
Probably the 2 biggest ones for me would be 2XL when I was a kid.
Just clothes you fit into?
No, fuck. Wow, you scumbag. No, 2XL was a little robot. It was like the coolest fucking thing ever. You would like put little tapes in it. It was kind of like a Teddy Ruxpin, but like way cooler. Look at that fucking thing.
Oh, I seem to maybe somewhat remember that.
So like it had like its own little adventure tapes where you could like answer on these buttons, and it would like give you like little trivia questions or like choose your own adventure. And then, stop, play, rewind. He just played regular tapes if you wanted. And then there was also these like sick tapes from like Marvel that gave you like Wolverine and Spider-Man adventures. And you could like do your own things and like try to make the characters live by pushing the right buttons. It was the shit, dude. I love that thing so much.
All right, Mr. Feldstein, best Hanukkah gift you ever got as a kid?
Probably like nothing on that scale. I feel like a basketball jersey, maybe.
All right.
Probably most memorable. Like, I was like, oh shit. Like, yeah.
A Phoenix Suns jersey.
Probably, yeah. Charles Barkley White, Phoenix Suns, with that sunburst. Yeah.
Classic.
Favorite of all time.
I remember the problem is when you're a kid, everything like seemed to be a lot bigger than it was. But I remember once in the basement, my dad got one of those. I don't know if you ever had one of these, but those little tracks. And you could put the race cars on them, and you would hold the thing in your hand, you'd push it down, and you could race cars on the track, and there was a loop, and something about it always...
Hot Wheels?
No, but I don't think it was Hot Wheels. It seemed to me like it was a little bit more... maybe it was Hot Wheels, but this was automatic. It was on like a track. It wasn't... when I say it was on a track, Hot Wheels is just plastic. This had like a metal thing in the middle, and it was like electronic, and it would heat up and make these fume smells. I'm sure it was the most dangerous toy of all time, but it was like there was a little piece of metal on the bottom of the car that went into a track, and you held down a thing. It was all motorized, and these things fucking flew. But it didn't last very long. I had this for maybe a month, and then if I remember correctly, it got... I don't remember that it broke down as much as my dad decided he'd prefer the table for storage and just started putting shit on it. And that was the end of but that was great. And the other one was, I remember once, and I'm sure it was a piece of Walmart or the Toys R Us garbage. But one year, someone got me like an air hockey table, and there were a couple Saturday nights I remember playing air hockey, and I thought that thing was fucking awesome. Oh man, I loved going down to the basement and turning on that air hockey table.
With that buzz.
To this day, I love air hockey. I don't like I don't like that pool. I don't like that ping pong. I don't be liking that foosball. But you get me in front of an air hockey table, I'm good to go.
Yeah. No, that's... I don't think I had anything that big.
What?
I would smoke you in air hockey.
Okay, place the wager right now. I know a good spot in Queens. We don't have to do it tonight, but place your bet now, and we will make it happen. What are you putting up?
Here's the thing.
Robbie knows.
No. Here's the thing. You said you had confidence. You said you would smoke me. Put it up.
There is zero doubt in my mind I would smoke you. However, fiscally right now, it would be so irresponsible for me to bet you anything. So
okay, wait. So let's make it. No, fine. Let's make it a fun wager. Yosef, what do you think should be the terms of this bet?
I will make the terms of this bet, but first I just want to say Robbie does have a place in Queens that he knows. It's actually his apartment where he has the same air hockey table that he got for Hanukkah 20 years ago. It takes up his entire bedroom, but it's worth it.
I wish that was true. Like Kramer style. I don't even have a bed when he had that pool table. What should we put on the line here?
All right, it's got to be something that hits hard. It's got to be something that packs a punch.
I'll tell you what. Let's put it out. Let's put it out to the fans. Let's put it out to the fans. If you're out there listening, yeah.
No, I think Harrington gets to shave your head. Oh no, fuck. That's already been done. Yeah. What's your idea?
I say
you have to wear my body hair as a toupee.
No, that's not happening. It's just not happening. I mean, I'm not going to lose, so I'm not that concerned.
Yeah,
but
so
I don't even want
a coward about it.
I don't even want to put that up on the line. The thought of spending any amount of time around your body hair just makes me not feel good about myself. Okay, I'm going to put it out there for the fans. Tweet us. I'm at Robbie the Fire. You can also email me, robsnewsroom@gmail.com. You can hit up Mike Harrington at the chin. I always forget.
Them Harrington. I'm non-binary now.
Okay.
At them Harrington.
At them Harrington.
Yeah.
And other than that, thanks for joining us. We'll be back next week with a new episode. Yosef, you got anything else for us before we call it?
No, come. Just you guys could come any Friday night to Shabbat dinner. Invitation's still out there. This week we're gonna have a nice festive meal. Next week, same thing. And the week after that, you just choose it. You guys come.
Oh, actually,
I'm just
Before we call it an episode, I actually got some stand-up dates to plug. I'm out of LOL, so I'm really hustling, and I'm trying to get some dates on the books so that I'm not just retired from comedy. I will be posting all of these, but be on the lookout. I'm with Mike Lemmy is headlining down in Philly. I think that's like January 3rd. I'm going to be doing that with him. I'm doing I'm headlining. I'm out in Denver. First time. I'm doing a ski gig. I'm going to be skiing 3 days, the weekend of the 14th and 15th. I got to look up the ski thing, and I'm going to post it. But if you're out there, you're a skier, I'm going to be out on the mountain. I'm just going to be drinking and skiing. I'll totally hang out with you. I'm going to be headlining for the first time. I probably might be a little overextended on that, so I could use some people out there pretending like I'm funny. I could use some support out there. So, and then I'm hustling. I'm trying to hustle some gigs for me and Dave. Looking at a couple cities, trying to book some venues. So be on the lookout for that. And of course, what?
Why not Denver?
What about Denver? You mean for Dave?
Yeah, you could do 2 for 1. You're already going to be out there.
You know, that's a good idea. I like the way you think, Mr. Feldstein. That's a swell idea you got there. All right, let's call it an episode. Goodbye.